since we don't know how it's exactly going to go with Peisberry, because we have no idea what they might have some kind of alliance going or something. We probably secure what we've got as we think are other secure, which might be Swan.
All right, let's go and talk to Lord Swan.
Lord Swan, yes.
Deal with our secure things first. I'll shaky things later.
He has nice guards and such. He strengthens his armor. Is keeping his sword. What's it called? Like a whetstone. Yeah. Taking care of his stuff anyway.
Yeah, sharpening his sword and everything. It is. He's just so far away.
You can enter, and basically you'll be asked in by the guards. Will announce you're there, and he'll look up and says, "Visitors, come in, come in. It is not quite keep, but it will do."
Thank you, Lord Swan.
So my condolences.
Thank you again.
Never hard to lose family.
It is not.
She looks to Alaric and says, "But perhaps there is family to be gained."
That would be the hope, yes. Looks up at Sir Alaric.
I've been beseeched by my daughter, doughy-eyedly speaking, of a knight of Caladan. I wanted to speak to him, and I had rightfully hoped that he would come here to me, to seek my permission for such a thing.
Go, Alaric, this is your time to shine.
Seems that I was not beseeched for permission before the request was made. I suppose such are the times we're living in.
My apologies, my Lord Swan. For affections and time constraints were an issue. If I were able, I would have come to ask you myself. Sadly, we had to deal with the funeral of my squire. The same day that Lady Swan left.
I have thought on this, and scratches beard and says, "I would be willing to offer her hand to the House of Caladan, to you, Sir Alaric. However, I must have assurances that she will have a place of her own where she can stay, that you are able to provide for her. I could not have a lady of my house, my oldest, stay in ways of someone else's abode."
Alaric nods and looks to Lanus and says, "I believe we had plans for a manor house on ancestral grounds."
Yes, you have served us well, and a holding for you is fitting.
A domain to call your own, then, or landing.
Yes.
Good land, as it comes. Absolutely. Well then, should this be made an agreement, then I should be able to provide a small bridal price. You are, she looks at Alaric, a knight. She is a lady and such. The price will of course reflect that.
Alaric nods and says, "Of course."
It should, however, aid in constructing a suitable home.
One fit for your daughter.
Yes, another thing. You know her well, yes? You're willing to accept her as is?
Alaric nods.
I would not lie to you, Sir Knight. She has proclivities that are considered strange by most. Are you sure that she is the one for you?
Alaric nods and says, yes, I would think so.
Then you shall have my blessing to pursue this. Given, of course, that, he looks to lateness, that this is all held up. I shall trust your expertise in this.
Of course. When everything is together, such can be built.
So the wedding shall be hosted at their manor house then, once it is constructed.
Alaric nods and looks to Agnes and says,
So until then, I hope that your virtues will stay separate. Now, was that all, my lord?
I believe we had one more thing to discuss. He looks to Desmond.
Desmond nods slowly. It is about the election, my lord.
I suspected as much, yes.
We have
Drink.
thrown our name into the running, and we attempt to become Lord of the Marshes.
As I understood it, it was Lord Peak and Lord Selmy.
Yes, but Lord Selmy has sadly squandered his chance and has stepped down. We have decided to enter the running against Peak because we simply believe that we are the better choice.
As I see. Well, war's coming.
Yes.
Whose side will you be on?
We shall be on the side of the Marshes, Lord Swan. That is indeed what this is about, I think. The Marshes have long
not
been...
very telling, sadly.
Well, let me try to explain then. The Marshes has been in decline for years now. The King's peace has made us, if not indolent, so at least somewhat complacent. There has been many raids and troubling reports of activities in the south. A new group has risen that are plaguing our lands and has attacked our house twice with disastrous results both times. More so the second time, as we all know.
the first attack also including your house by extension.
Yes, I heard of your bravery, Sir Knight.
And it is that villainy we want to destroy, and that bravery that we would ask of the Marshes to do it. We have a duty that has been neglected for far too long, and we must uphold it.
Yes, there's little glory in such work, I fear. But perhaps glory was never our duty to uphold.
There is something to be said for doing one's duty, is it not, Lord Swan? Glory.
Would ride against this bandit group?
It is more than a mere bandit group. I do believe it is a collection of incredibly skilled and well-funded armed forces by the Dornish. They are, in all effects, an army. Their skill in training and their expertise and determination has been attested by not only myself, but Sir Alaric and your daughter. Those were not bandits, my lord. Those were military veterans, the likes I fear the Marshes can barely produce anymore. But that we would wish to change with your support.
And who then, when you ride against these bandits, is going to lead the van? You have a person in mind?
Can I do an empathy check here to see if he is fishing for being in the van?
Sure.
Because that's kind of what I think as a player, but it's hard to sort of read voice inflections as such.
Yes, we don't have facial expressions to work with or anything.
Exactly.
He really wants it.
He really wants it. Okay.
It is, however, a title you can only really give to one person. They get to lead sort of the main battle group in battle.
How is Lord Swan known?
He is known to be much untested.
Yeah.
He's never really, many would say, had the option to prove himself. He's always been had to stay home for whatever reason, or then this whole peace thing happened, and that is something that is you don't bring it up really, because that's
True.
He doesn't have a rumor of being incompetent, as you said. He hasn't really.
He's just not
He's
had
experienced.
the chance.
He just hasn't really ever done anything super remarkable.
He wants glory.
Personally, I have no problem giving him the van. But I might be overseeing the ramifications of a war situation where he would have control of that in some way.
It depends.
Someone else might be say, "I will lead the van, and if not, I'll go home." No, it's that important to some people. It's the one who gets the name for the battle, the glory. That's that person.
All right, let's look at the other people that we would have on our side. Selmy, he won't be in the van. Londarian, nope. Mike and Wraith, he is far too smart to argue over that, I think.
He's not petty.
Sam Charlie is a coward and would never be in the van.
He's not really a commander either.
Lord Peisberry, he is an economist and would never be in the van.
You'll be stewarding for people.
Alien Ashford is too old, I think. And Boniface Trent, really?
Yeah, but then Alien Ashford,
Trent in the van.
Gregor could do it.
Trent, I shall lead the van.
Alien Ashford's actually not that old of age. He's aged early, so to speak.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's had a lot of stress.
So possibly, but he's not a lord, so
I wouldn't have a particularly.
Yeah, the only other
issue
person I would put there is Alaric.
Alaric wouldn't if it secures this for us, he wouldn't really care. But if it was if there was a battle, the armies were there, and then someone that's never proven themselves comes along and goes, "I want to lead the van," and you go, actually, perhaps someone with a bit more experience or prowess at it.
He's not an untested 18-year-old.
No, that's Alaric wouldn't have an issue with it. Let's put it that way.
Maybe you can hand him a few notes, here, take a look at this.
Yeah. If he agreed that Alaric could perhaps sub-command with him.
I mean, in a war situation, with the Lords of the Marshes gathered, we would have some sort of war council, and for all intents and purposes, Alaric would be the warlord. He would be War Master Alaric Horus.
All right, that's going into my label right now. What was that? War Master.
Because you would be the speaking voice of House Caladan on the battlefield.
Lord General.
Which would make it the commander militant of the Lord of the Marshes.
Yeah.
But in that position, you can certainly delegate and be like, "Oh yeah, you take care of this flank, you take care of this flank. Lord Swan, you take the van."
Yeah, leading the vanguard is a pretty glorious position.
Yeah, I'm cool with. Yeah, in that situation, I would definitely be all right with.
But his honor is gonna improve your honor.
Exactly.
You're gonna get into his family.
It's also a very dangerous position to be leading.
But it doesn't matter for Swan because he's old and he wants to make his mark in history.
He has an heir. His heir is born.
He wants his name up. That's what the main point.
He wants the House Swan's name to be spoken in history for his deeds, not someone else's.
When the armies come over the hill, they want the banner of Swan to go first.
Yes. Mm-hmm. You know, Alaric cool with that. Yeah.
Okay, we don't get some glory. We can deal with a lack of glory.
Yeah, Alaric.
We're not a glory house. We're an intrigue house.
Yeah.
We've gotten some good glory over the sessions here. But
Alaric's had enough fucking glory. All right.
Being in all those tournaments, you're done.
Yeah, he's been doing it for many years. He's proven himself.
Melt that sword into a plow and till the land.
More like a battle, like a horn, a
commander's
horn.
Plow.
Battle plow.
Okay, we are in agreement.
Mm-hmm. She looks as he looks.
The eyes have it.
It is, of course, an important thing to consider, I know. And I simply would wish to know that you had made a good choice that I could support.
I am not a military commander like Sir Alaric. Perhaps he would have a suggestion who to put in such a prestigious position.
Yes.
That looks pointedly at Alaric.
Yes, that seems fitting as my Master of Arms. Present it.
Alaric nods and says, I think the Vanguard would be the rightful place for you, Lord Swan.
Aye. That cannot be right. I have not led a Vanguard before. Such a thing would be... Many would not like it. I can't take such a position.
Alaric looks slightly more seriously and says, "You're a competent tactician and fighter, from what I've known. I see no quarrel with it, and if House Caladan is brought up to Lord of the Marches, I would likely be the head of the military tacticians," and kind of shrugs and says, "I think you'd be one of the better choices."
Does some nods and says, "I would agree. None like Lord Swan knows a better part of these hills. You have commanded and led your house for a long time, my lord. That knowledge of the marshes few can match."
Lord Peak might be a better choice, as Lord Selmy could learn much. Darren is older than I.
Lord Peak is brash.
If I am pressed to take this position, it would be with my protests, you understand. Let history know that I was reluctant.
Does some smiles. Of course, my lord.
Of course.
Sort of wrinkles his brow, seeming thoughtful. I had not expected this.
Does he look happy, though? Like,
in a way, but he also seems to take what he's saying kind of serious. Maybe he doesn't know. Maybe he's not as honest to himself as to you.
Okay. Like, deep down inside, he's not sure if he could actually do it. Kind of thing, or...
Yeah, but he wants to so much.
He wants to, yeah. Gamey Dog's up for it.
Note yourself have a backup just in case.
Yes.
Yes, perhaps if this is really what you would desire of me, I suppose I shall bring these old bones to the battlefield. Not slowly. Yes, and the landing. I will hear of you of that. Yes.
Alaric nods. Looks to land.
Also, you should speak to Lord Trent. He is not happy with this turn of events. He seems to speak to quite a few people.
You have known Lord Trent for many years, Lord Swan. Would you perhaps offer some of your insight into him, into his mood and his ambitions here?
It is like with Lord Trent. You need to figure out which Lord Trent he is today. His moods and ways of acting change subtly at times.
What could possibly have been offered to Lord Trent to make him so vehemently oppose this new turn of events? I have never known him to be that engaged in the politics of the marshes. He have kept mostly to himself.
Yes, I can only imagine that. Francis, well, some would say that my daughter is engaged in certain acts. I would not speak of such things here. It's foul, evil things. But, alas, he is family. My lady should be here. She could tell you more, though she rarely speaks of her brothers.
Well, with your permission then, my lord, we would like to speak to her.
She is home, as it was.
Oh, I thought she wasn't Benicia here?
That
Yeah,
she's
but
on
not
about.
his wife.
Yeah,
She's
he's-
lady.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, I thought his. I got things confused for a little bit. Okay, sure.
Boniface. He is an ungodly man. That you cannot take from him, and he relishes in it. If there's one thing he wants, then he will generally not want to say it, simply have it. He is not cheap, and he will not be bought easily, and has not been bought easily. I would not know what he wants. Maybe he would request it of someone. But it is undoubtedly something to do with his spells and incantations.
Yeah, that's kind of what he wanted last time.
She said and says, who knows? Maybe he would want someone's firstborn.
Boy, do we have a deal for you, Lord
Smiling
Trent.
slightly.
No.
Come on. You can make another one.
You're such a
Right,
spoil sport.
So Alaric's firstborn, perhaps. Or next born.
Alaric needs more because, you know, his line could die out. Everyone could die at any minute, really.
The main house's line is more important.
Alaric would argue differently.
I wouldn't.
How dare you, Alaric? That's treasonous.
It is not treasonous. It is not the king. Haha.
So Alaric, I send you to the war.
Well, there we go.
Well,
That's done then.
Alaric leaves the house and goes to Highgarden. Fuck you.
I actually think Lanus can do. I can send people to the wall as he doesn't like. He's like, yeah, to the wall with you. It's like, oh well.
I could, yes. You have to remember, I have power now.
Although
Yes,
try
uncle.
Try and tell that to
Oh yes,
Ashra.
yes, yes, Uncle. I think you'd make a brilliant steward of the wall.
You probably would actually.
You should be a builder, I think.
I believe it's based on cunning, which you have good
Okay.
cunning.
So, Boniface Trent is, you can't. Maybe you can't buy his loyalty. Maybe we can rent it. Yeah.
How do you rent one of you?
Perhaps if we could, I don't know. If Benicio could tag along for that visit, then perhaps her friendliness with her uncle could perhaps sway him without blood sacrifices.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully.
It's really not one of those
We could
sacrifices.
talk to Lady Benicia a bit. Maybe she can give us some insight into Trent.
Yeah.
He kind of dotes on her, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, she's like his favorite, I think. If I remember rightly.
Is Lordship of Swan? You sound like you're done with him.
Yeah, we're done.
Okay.
Can we get any info about Trent from Lady Benicia?
She isn't really to be found easily.
No.
Is he with her? Is she with her?
In that case, I say let's go and talk to Lord Peisberry.
Sure. The Peisberry camp is close to the Ashford camp, but he is by himself, sort of. speak with him.
Alaric will take this time to go.
Sons are there to be
look.
guards and whatnot.
Mhm.
They're outside, looking ugly as ever. His
I don't
tent
know
is
what-
a big,
I don't know what you're talking about.
with those
Oh,
streaks
look
of
at them.
golden and green colors. Big,
Mm.
big sort of pods of peas on everything. It's very lavish, really. It's
Mhm.
like carpet in his tent.
God, he has a salt patch. What a dick.
It's
No, nothing.
You're judging someone's character by their choice of facial hair.
Yes.
Admittedly, I do that with Lord Trent, but
Yes. Yes. See.
It's in his warm chair, and there's a few of them. It's very nice in here. It's got light, pretty things, and lots of food and such. Lots of guards too, though none of them really seem to be anything but mercenaries. Pretty well trained ones.
Well,
You were asked to wait a little bit beforehand, maybe like 15 minutes. For you to go and talk to him.
why?
Then he'll basically get into the pavilion where he'll sit behind a table. Some stacks of papers and like a weight sitting on the table. He sort of stands. He's not very tall at all.
not a dwarf.
Jira says, yes. Come in, come in. Oh, we have not met for too long. It's been too long. Caladans, come here, sit down.
Desmond smiles as he approaches. Lord Peisberry, it has been too long indeed. Yeah, sits down and looks around. We attempted to come visit, to speak to you a couple of months ago, but sadly, disaster.
Yes, a different boy showed up. Yeah, was a little rude actually. Sort of told me of your troubles and did not have an ear to hear about mine, which I'm sure you're familiar with. I remember quite graciously sending you a letter of this some months and moons ago. He sort of gives you a wicked smile.
Desmond smiles
I
back.
believe you reported that you had found others for the dear girls, and now they're both married to knights. This of no high-born stature, even. Well, of course, I would not hold such a thing against you, my lord of Caladan. I understand that we all have our desires for things that are not a Trent, or perhaps a Peisberry.
Oh, poor guy.
Desmond smiles, friendly towards him and says, "My lord, believe me when I say that if we could wind back history and do it all over again, we would not have spurned your generous offer." He bows slightly. "The times are strange, and sometimes you make mistakes, which is the reason that brings us here to you today, my lord."
You make a lot of mistakes, Lord Caladan?
"Not more than I can help," he smiles. "But there is a grand one in the making that we are trying to stop, and hoping perhaps that we could come to an understanding."
He sort of leans forward a little bit, moves a few papers into the stack, and says, "I am a master of understandings, yes."
Lord Peak is, as you know, bidding to become Lord of the Marshes, and as you probably know by this point as well, so are we. Lord Selmy squandered his opportunity, which is sad for Lord Selmy. I am sure most of the beginnings of this whole affair was reported to you by your sons, that I trust are whole and healthy. I believe our maester...
Yes, as much as they ever are whole.
Damn!
It is almost like they're half missing their other half.
I am happy that...
Sadly, it seems that I have not been able to find any such other halves in the entirety of the marshes.
Well, my lord, hope is the last thing that we abandon, is it not? He smiles.
Hope is one of the only things I cannot sell. Not easily, anyway.
Maybe you should start a religion, my lord. And then he smiles again and moves. And what? They sell hope. What?
I don't know. Some religions are doom.
Okay, sure. You can start a doom cult, I guess, but I don't think you get that much money from it.
You'd be surprised.
So
Okay.
Lord Selmy wasted his chance at glory. All right. And you seek it. All right. Peak seeks it as well. And nobody has time to marry a Peisberry.
Well, sadly, Lord Peisberry, we do not currently have someone to offer you in that regard, but perhaps something else.
That was a shame. You had two, and now they're both gone. I do not think it was a lack of availability that caused this.
As I said, my lord, if we could take it back and redo it, we would surely have chosen differently. But things being what they are, we must do the best of the situation. And the situation...
Yes, that is fair.
And the situation is this, if I may expand upon the subject. We are, for all the assurances of the Lord Hand, we are traveling quite briskly towards some sort of conflict. I am sure that you, with your brilliant mind, have ascertained this as well.
I have spoken thoroughly with the Lord Hand, and we have come to some agreements, yes.
There are two grand problems that I identified towards the marshes. Coming up, first of all, we have the Blackfire, who will most assuredly land and try to claim his supposed rightful place on the throne. That for doing that, he will try to rally the marshes to his banners. I believe that he has convinced Lord Peak of this quite thoroughly, and perhaps even Lord Trent. Now, this is a problem because it would split the marshes and it would stop us from doing what we are sworn to do. It would, in a sense, corrupt our very purpose and our very honor for being here. That is a bad choice, in my opinion. Instead, my lord, I have something else. Something that would draw upon your very special talents and perhaps line your coffers even better for the future. Something that would let my lord indulge in whatever niceties my lord likes. The enemy to the south is well organized. It is well equipped, well armed, and has struck at House Caladan twice with disastrous results, and at Lord Karen and his holdings several times as well. This is now a major threat that needs to be handled. When the Blackfire arrives, this force will likely strike, try to use the confusion that his arrival will create to wreak havoc on the marshes. This will destroy, well, it will destroy our lands, it will destroy our people, and even if the incursion doesn't reach as far north as your lands, Lord Peisberry, it would destroy very much your market and your economy base. Instead, I would suggest that we use that very economy base to fight the enemy. They have been using their trade networks to spy on us, Lord Peisberry. And my plan is to, if we come into power, he smiles, to use your vast connections and mine in conjunction